Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to film my updated 5-star predictions for the year. So I wanted to first off start by going back through my 2023 5-star predictions and see if any of these books were actually 5-star reads. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have all of the books here, and we're going to start off with two books that I actually didn't get to. I have By a Thread by Lucy Score, and I really wanted to read this book, but I don't know, I was just a little intimidated by this book. I don't know why, because I have it on my Kindle, so I should just get through this, but obviously I can't tell you guys whether it was a 5-star read or not. I still think that this could be a 5-star read. I also have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This book I haven't gotten to, and it is high on my 2024 physical TBR. Hopefully I get to this one this year. Now, moving on to the books that I actually got to. I have Beach Read by Emily Henry. This one was a really good read. It was really close to a 5-star, but I ended up giving this book 4.75. I think I would want to reread this book just to see my thoughts on it now and what I would give this book, because I don't really remember too much about it. I just remember it was kind of spicy and I enjoyed it a lot. I just finished reading The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I love the new covers. I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars just because I don't think there were a lot of things that made this book memorable, but it was a cute story and I did like the relationship between the two, even though Garrett is not my favorite main male character. So yeah, it was still a good read though. I read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I think last month, and this was a really fun read. I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars, so it was really close but wasn't a 5-star read for me. It was just hard for me to put a rating on this book, so I would still highly recommend. I did read Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series, and I don't know, I did enjoy this book. It was a cute summer read. However, I thought the banter between the two was good. I just thought that the story wasn't as memorable to me. I did give this 4 stars and I'm really excited to continue. I see a lot of hype around the series, so I hope I love the other books more. We'll have to see, but this one was still a fun read regardless. Then I have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, and you guys, after continuing on with the series, it's very hard to not give this 5 stars just because I love the series so much. But I think this first book, I would give this 4 stars because it was really good. However, the characters are not my favorite until you know them a little bit better in the other books. I have 2 left to go through. I have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this was a highly anticipated read for me. I've only read Evelyn Hugo by her before I read this book. This one was just really good. I liked the story, but I gave this 4 stars. So it wasn't a 5-star read, but it was still fun. And then my last prediction for 2023 was Happy Place. I thought that this would be a 5-star read for me just because of the hype that I saw everywhere. For some reason, it didn't hit for me like it did with her other books and just for everyone else. So I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted this book to be so good, but I ended up giving this book 3.5 stars, and this is a book that I might go back and reread just to see my thoughts on some of these books, because I'm like, did I miss something? Why did I not enjoy the book as much as other people did? So I don't know, maybe I didn't connect to this book like other people did. It was still a really good read. I just thought the beginning was slow for me. I'm just sad that I was so off with all of these books, and I guess you never know. I feel like the more I read, the more critical I am, but those were my ratings for those books. The first book I'm going to start off with, I am sure that it's going to be a 5-star read. I don't know. I just am going to be so disappointed if it's not. From everyone that I've seen, I think it'll be a 5-star read for me, and that has to be Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. This is the 4th book in the Magnolia Parks universe, and this is the 2nd book following Daisy's story, so I'm very curious because I am so team Julian and I love that man so much, so I really want to read this book just solely for his perspective. I don't even care much about Daisy's story in this book, but I know that a lot of things are going to happen, and I actually do like Daisy a lot. After reading Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home, it kind of changed my perspective on her story, so I'm curious to see how I feel after reading this book, and I'm just not ready because every book that I read by Jessa Hastings makes me feel a certain way, and I'm just so invested now that I really need to get into this book. I'm hoping to read this one soon, but this is at the top. I feel like it's going to be a 5-star read. The next book I have is Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the 2nd book in the Chestnut Springs series, and I don't know why, but I've been seeing people post this book on Bookstagram. I feel like I see a lot more people talk about how much they like this book and would reread, so I'm just feeling like maybe this will be a 5-star read for me just because of all the hype that surrounds it, and I want to go into this series blind, so I have no idea who this book is about and what their story is. This cover doesn't give anything away besides the fact that there's a guitar on it. I'm excited. I'm hoping to read this one sometime in the spring or summer. Then I have You with the View by Jessica Joyce. I love the cover so much. I see a lot of people enjoying this book and giving this a really high rating, so I feel like the story will be touching. I'm hoping. I feel like now it's hard for me to give a romance book a 5-star rating, so we'll have to see, but this one I see potential. The last romance book that I have is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I cannot wait to read this one just because you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about The 7-Year Slip by her, but I love that book so much and I loved her writing, so I really want to read this one. That one was like a 6-star read for me, so I'm hoping that this can be like a 5-star read. Now I have some fantasy books to share. The first one is actually a sci-fi. I have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. So many people that I love to watch really enjoyed this book. It just sounds really good as well. So I'm a little nervous because this would be my first sci-fi book, but I'm also excited. I forgot to mention that I also want to include By a Thread in my 2024 5-star predictions because I still think that that book will be a 5-star read for me. And then I have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. I retrack what I think about Once Upon a Broken Heart. That is the first book in this like series, and I now think that The Ballad of Never After is going to be a 5-star read just because so many people talk about this particular book and how much they love the series because of this book. So I think I'm going to feel the same way. I have no idea what this book is about or, you know, why people love it so much, but I cannot wait to get into the series. Yeah, I'm hoping that this is worth the hype. Then I have Heavenly Bodies by Imani. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but I think this is going to be a 5-star read for me. I'm just a little nervous. I don't know if this is high fantasy. I've seen reviews about this book and they're just so good, so I cannot wait for whenever I get into the series, but it's just crazy because this is a debut novel. Then I have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling, and this book is a really popular book that I see on Bookstagram, and so many people love this book. It also has to do with like dragons, so I obviously think that this is going to be a 5-star read. This one is about like a runaway princess or queen, and she has multiple dragons, I think. So I'm just very excited to see what else there is to this book. I also wanted to include The Serpent and Wings of Night by Carissa Brabants in here because, I don't know, I've heard a lot of great things about this one as well. This one is different because it's about a human and a vampire, so I'm very curious because it's a little weird, but it's giving me like Twilight. A lot of people I think said that if you like the ACOTAR series you will like this book. I'm hoping that that's the case, because I am enjoying the ACOTAR series, so I cannot wait to read this one, and I'm hoping this is also a 5-star read for me. Now, I have 2 more books, and they're both in the ACOTAR series because I read the second one and I'm about to start this one. I'm a little nervous because the second one was just so good. I think both of these books, the 3rd and the 5th, I'm not including the novella just because it's so short and I think it's going to be fun to read. But these 2 books, I have high expectations and I feel like a lot of crazy things are going to happen. You don't expect anything in these books. So these 2, I think, will be 5-star reads for me. I hope. I really hope they are, but I had to include these 2 this year. So I had so much fun sharing my 2024 5-star predictions with you all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if any of these books were 5-star reads for you, and I'm just excited to get into them. So make sure you're following my channel because I will be sure to do reading vlogs for all of these books, and I can't wait to talk more about them. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I really hope that these books will be 5-star reads for me. I just hope that I have more compared to last year's. I was so off last year, so I'm hoping to be a little bit more accurate this year, but we'll have to see next year. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!